my mum, so apologies if you've heard this before, was looking after my kids for a Saturday. My husband and I had gone to a wedding. And my mother has worked with children her whole life. I've told you this before. She's incredible with kids. The children adore her. She's worked in schools and she's run play schemes and set up playgroups. Incredible with children. I trust her 100% with my kids. And she was trying to take them out for lunch. The 10-year-old boy was being a pain. He wanted to take a football into this cafe and she said no. And she's trying to get them out of the car on a busy day. The littlest was about 2. And then you've got a 4-year-old. So she's dealing with these kids who are all being a bit wired. They're all a bit hungry. It's lunchtime. And the 10-year-old, she says, leave the football in the car. And he says, no. And she said, leave it there. She gets out of the car. He's brought the football. She went, right, that's it. Get back in the car. I'm not giving you lunch in a cafe. You can go home for beans on toast. You're not having a treat. And she slapped him on the legs. He had his football shorts on. It's a sunny day. And she went smack, smack on his thigh. Get in the car. I'm disappointed with you. And as she went to get in the car, some busybody Chiswick dad pushing a pram stops my 70-year-old granny, mother, and says, you can't do that to that child. You can't hit him. And she said, yes, I can. I am absolutely within my rights to discipline my grandson if he needs it. And he said, no, you can't. And he took a photo of her on his mobile phone, of her in the car. So she was quite shaken by that. She took the kids home. Everything is fine. She explains to my son again, do not disobey me. Don't be so defiant. He goes and plays in the garden. He's forgotten about it 5 minutes later. Next thing, there's a knock on the door. And there's 2 policemen at the door. And they say to her, you know why we're here, don't you? And she said, yeah, I think I probably do. Now, my mum was also the first female police special in the country. She massively respects the police. So when the police come round, she wants to be on their side. That is her default position. And they came in, and as they're walking through, because they want to see my son to check he's okay and not, I guess, tied up under the stairs. And as they're walking in, she's saying to the police officers, please be diplomatic here, because if my grandson thinks that every time his parents or his mother slaps him on the legs, or me, that he can phone the police, you make what is already a very difficult job very difficult. So even under those circumstances, she's got his best interests at heart. Anyway, they go out in the garden, and of course he's there going, Nana, can I have a bit more toast and beans on toast? And he's clearly fine. And he says, well, how come the police are here? And my mum said, oh, it's because you were burgled, and they're wondering what your iPod was like that got stolen. Oh, right, okay. So she managed to protect him from the reality of the situation. And that is simply that she was disciplining him in a completely appropriate way with which she had my absolute permission. And the police came round. And you think, do you know what? We had been burgled. I don't think the police had come round more than once when we were burgled at night with us asleep in the house. The cars had been burgled repeatedly, had been broken into. The police had the time to come out. I understand. They had to, I guess, they had to react to a call to say that a child was being abused. He wasn't being abused. He was being disciplined by his incredible grandmother. But I worry about the way that this is moving, because on that particular occasion when we got home from our wedding, my mum was so upset. I'd never seen her so upset. And she was really trying to, I thought, what's happened? She was crying, and she said, you know, and I smacked him on the legs and the police came. I said, but Mum, you didn't do anything wrong. And she said, but that's why it's so much more chilling. She's like, I think that's why this is so scary, because if I had done something wrong, then I could understand why they'd come round, but I hadn't. So, look, the point of the story is, I guess, who has the power to discipline your children? Because in that situation, the grandmother had the power, and the government in Scotland is going to take away that power from parents to appropriately, physically discipline their kids.